Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Want to bring this Aston Township Board of Commissioners meeting for Wednesday, March 15th, 2023 to start, and then we have a
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I was just reminded that we had an executive session in the back conference room just a few minutes ago. It had to do with some contract issues and some other things. All right, item number 3, review and approve the minutes of the regular meeting of February 15th, 2003. I need a motion.
Motion.
Do a second? Second. With a motion and a second, any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Now we have a proclamation. Mr. Berry's going to read.
Thanks, Mike. Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania proclamation. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Aston Township desires to recognize Carol Thompson, who is retired after 40 years of service. And whereas Carol has served as Aston Township Zoning Hearing Board Officer for many years. And whereas Carol also served as the Secretary for the following committees: new construction, public works, fire and fire marshal, board of health, safety, and also ordinance. Whereas Carol was the township liaison for both the Aston Valley and Aston Middletown Baseball Leagues, Aston Senior Citizens, and many other organizations. And whereas Carol was a dedicated township employee who was always friendly and helpful to township residents. And now therefore be proclaimed that the Aston Township Board of Commissioners would like to acknowledge Carol for her 40 years of employment and wish her nothing but the best in her retirement. Duly proclaimed this 15th day of March, 2023.
Got 40 years of stuff to serve.
How long are we gonna be here?
How long have you been here?
Yeah, I think you guys should get your picture taken.
No, you should. Start up there so she's not standing as long. They were saying she may be taller.
Are you voting for up there now?
I can take it if you want. Gotta wait, we'll wait.
Huh? It's awesome. Been with her for 40 years. Right?
Keep it out.
Pay me back on one of that.
Are you ready?
We look better for the back.
Harold?
And one more with that.
Yes.
Here.
Anything else, Mary?
It's all about.
I started working for Aston Township in 1983. Commissioner Ed Colessa told me about a vacancy that was opening up. Edith Turner was retiring at the time. We had only 3 girls in the office staff, 1 full-time code officer, and a township manager that needed to find, which was Jim Gray. I had many jobs for Aston Township, working with the fine fire department, fire committee, and the fire marshal. It was very interesting. I would like to thank Tom Morgan, our current fire marshal, for all his help. He also helps with land development plans to look them over before they're approved. Land development was always interesting. I would log in the plans and get things ready for Joe Viscuso to have the county Department of Health, or not the Department of Health, County Land Development Department. And it was interesting to see the blueprints come in and then materialize into something. In 1988, that was the biggest project I ever saw. It was Valley in the Hinge. Joe Grace's project that came in, which turned that whole open land into townhouses, single-family dwellings. I want to thank Joe Viscuso for his expertise with land development. You've taught me an awful lot, and you're an important part to this community. I want to thank the Planning Commission, who I've gotten to know as my many friends through the year. I always did the agendas for them. I always put everything together, and I got the applicants to attend all meetings. I made many friends on the Planning Commission. Joe McColgan, Kathy Jones, Sister Corinne, all the people that were on the Planning Commission became my friends. Zoning Hearing Board needs a professional group of people, and we certainly have that with Aston Township. Our board, Zoning Hearing Board, is meticulous and detailed with everything they do. I'd like to thank Ray Church, the chairman of the committee, Eric DeLellis, Don Miller, John Mancinelli, Paul Mullen, and my special girlfriend, Lorraine Evans, who was the clerk before for many years. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being so kind to me. Conditional use hearings were held on occasions where something had to be handled by the Board of Commissioners rather than the Zoning Hearing Board. And Beth was always in charge of that, but I also had my end of it where I had to send the surrounding neighbors letters, and I also had to post the properties. I want to thank Beth, the professionalism and the wonderful person she's been and the kindness that she showed me many, many years. Have good luck, Beth, on your new endeavor. Public Works family, how can I ever thank you? These guys are not available. Anytime a resident had a problem, you'd call Russ up and they'd be taken care of immediately. These guys work hard and they're kind to me. And they shared so much wonderful love towards me, and I really am going to miss Russ and the whole Public Works team. I love you guys. Workplace safety. Well, Russ, Sergeant Gary Smith, and myself were the original groups on the committee, and we've had it for many, many years, and I've always done the minutes and taken good care. I want to thank Chief for all his kindness through the Workplace Safety Committee. I also want to thank all the members of the Workplace Safety Committee. Thank you to all my family. Your support has meant a great deal and love to me all these years. My son Clifford, his wife Tara, my grandchildren Hunter, Chase, and Eva, my daughter Denise, her husband Mike, my grandchildren Jared, Zach, and Alexandra Carol. To my brother Johnny and his wife Irene, thank you for all your love. To my husband Cliff, who I've been married to for over 55 years, thank you so much. And I'd like to thank the former township manager, Dick Clear. His kindness and his concern for the residents comes through. He's a wonderful man, and I loved working with you for many, many years. I would like to say goodbye to all the township residents who I've enjoyed working for and helping out through the years. I formed many, many friendships. And I'd like to thank Bill DeFeo, the township manager, my co-workers, and Stephen Nicolai, the building code official, Albert Everett, for your kindness, Albert, and Lori Ann and Eileen for their kindness. And I appreciate your compassion. I would like to thank the Board of Commissioners for this honor and recognition. It means a great deal to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Very nice. Thank you. I also want to just mention Dick Lear for being here tonight. Okay, Dick. And also Ray Church and the members of the Zoning Hearing Board. They are professionals, and they're all different walks of life. One's even a full bird colonel. So in the Army. So I want to thank them for coming tonight too, and the employees that could come. Very nice.
Joe, I think Valiant finished our first PRD.
Was.
Okay, going to move on to item 5, committee reports. Mr. Doherty.
And before me, the treasurer's report for February 2023. Operating cash in the general fund as of February 28th was $2,143,522. Other funds include the TD Bank Bond Fund checking account with a balance of $185,172. The TD Bank escrow checking account with a balance of $399,714. And the Pliget account, the 2022 account, the balance of $9,508,800. Total cash balance for the township as of February 28th, 2023 was $18,494,905, and that concludes my report.
Okay, Mr. Pendergast.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. This is Public Works Director Activity Report for February 2023. The following report highlights the activity of the Public Works Department. Highway, all metal was picked up throughout the township. All township vehicles and Aston Police Department vehicles were maintained and serviced. All streetlight issues were reported to Illinois Electric for replacement or repair. All township parks and properties had branches and trash removed by the Highway Department. All small engine repairs were completed in-house by our mechanics. All 8 and 11 call sheets were reviewed and applicable streets were marked as per guidelines. Our team repaired an inlet in East Evans Way. The department inspected all playground equipment and cleaned all graffiti from equipment. Leaves were mulched in North Lamp Post, Bridgewater, and Savage Park. The basketball pole at Collins Park was removed with plans to install the pole at Manor Park. The team removed fallen trees from North Lamp Post and Concord Square parks. Our sanitation department picked up 48 tons of recycling and 384 tons of residential waste. Our department also picked up 3,640 pounds of metal which was recycled for $309.40. A reminder to all residents to dispose of all medical waste property. The radiation could be found or in something small as tissue or an adult diaper. Nuclear medicine patients should contact their doctors for instructions on the proper disposal of medical waste. Please remember that the first full week is Metal Appliance Week. Bulk Trash Week no longer exists. Anything that can burn can be put on your curb for trash at any time. Please have your trash at the curb by 6 a.m. of your designated trash day. If you have any questions, please contact Russ Palmer, Director of Public Works, at 610-494-8005. That's it in my report, Commissioner Higgins.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, Mr. Berry?
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. This is the police report for incidents occurred February 2023. Incidents handled 430, accident investigations 14, criminal investigations 23. Clearance rate for Part 1 crimes was 38%. Clearance rate for Part 2 was 66%. And for those who don't know, we have new cameras on different locations throughout Aston. I'll read a couple of totals for the past month. 10 on Concord roads, 574,492 vehicles went through that intersection. Pennell Road and Dutton Mills at 521,098. Concord and Dutton Mills had 676,517. Concord and Aston Mills had 520,730. And Concord Bridgewater had 469,868. That's why our clearance rates, I think, are coming up because of cameras. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bowden.
Hi, I'd like to start, Commissioner Higgins. First, I'd like to read a statement from Aston Township Board of Health statement. Aston Township is presenting this statement to notify all businesses in the township that it's necessary for them to comply and follow all township health ordinances. The Board of Health Inspector and Commissioners are not in the business and do not like or want to shut down any business within the township. But if the ordinances and regulations are not followed, the appropriate action will be taken place. Trash cans must be emptied. Parking lots must be clear of trash, and landscaping must be maintained as well. Any corporate business located within the township is held to a high standard, since you represent your company as well as Aston Township. I have a report here from the library. They have their next logo day is Saturday, March the 18th at 1:00 p.m. Bring your child to build and play with the library's Lego collection. The art group with Miss Angela meets each Saturday at 10 a.m. at the library. The group is an opportunity to work on collective or individual projects with assistance and feedback. The group will be focusing on a different media each week. Bring your child to a weekly story time. Infant and younger toddler story time with Miss Raven is on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Preschool and older toddler story time with Miss Amy is Thursday at 10:30 a.m. They will be having a movie showing Wakanda Forever Black Panther 2 on Friday, March 17th at 11 a.m. I probably said that wrong, but that was my attempt at it. The next thing I have is exciting, is our annual Easter egg hunt. So it will be their Easter egg scramble and bunny brunch, which will be held Saturday, March the 25th at 10 a.m. Rain date will be Sunday, March the 26th at 12:00 p.m. at the community center. There is no registration required. Bring your camera. The Easter bunny will be available for hugs and pictures. Refreshments will be served inside following the egg scramble, as well as face painting and music. The event will be held at the community center, 3270 Concord Road. We look forward to seeing everybody there. And lastly, I have from the Aston seniors, their next meeting is March the 23rd, 10:30 at the Aston Community Center. Lunch will be served, Caesar salad, stuffed shells, meatballs, green beans, and the best part, dessert. The entertainment will be from the Aston Historical Society. David Kelso will be presenting facts from them. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Bowden. Commissioner Joe again.
Thank you. Two reports tonight. The first one from the fire committee. They provide a lot of data and typically provide some of that to the township residents. And the things that I'll highlight again for this month is the average manpower per incident of 7, which is very strong for a volunteer fire department. And again, statistics that I think we should all be proud of is the dispatch on scene, meaning how long it takes from a call to come in to the fire department and for them to dispatch and be on scene. For EMS, that on scene time is an average of 7 minutes and 1 second, and fire dispatch is 6 minutes and 7 seconds. So that's extremely fast and a great job by our fire department. One other update I have for tonight is from our new building committee. So some of you may remember last year, obviously we're having these meetings here as opposed to Pennell Road, and we've moved out of the longtime township building and are at temporary lease space on New Road. And so last year we endeavored kind of to explore what that future was going to be, not just for the municipal building, but our police department, who was there as well. At that point, we identified a architectural firm, Bernardin, if you remember, and we also did a borrowing in terms of for funding for the plan for this future. So there's been a number of meetings between staff and my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Higgins and Doherty, on that committee, and a couple of things have been identified moving forward. So I just want to mention that and talk about what's next, as well as an opportunity where we'll talk about this in its own public meeting. So a couple of things that have been identified at this point are identifying a site. So we looked at and did a lot of exploration at certainly properties that were owned by the township, as well as some that were not, and just looking at anywhere in terms of for the township. And ultimately, for a number of reasons, the site that we settled on is the same site that the community center currently sits on. So looking at it, and nothing would disturb the existing building or library or anything like that, but building essentially expanding on the campus is there. You have athletic fields, there's an amphitheater coming in, there's obviously the Smiles on the playground, the gym, the library, all of that goes into the community center, and looking at that site as well. On the adjacent side, that would be a police department, as well as a potential administrative building. So that's an area that have been identified in terms of as a site. In terms of the other piece of this is exploring, obviously, our Pennell Road site, as the existing township building is unusable, but exploring the sale of that. Now, we haven't put anything on the market, but steps that have to be taken, but giving everybody a heads up that's something that's going to be pursued as well, and looking at that sale of Pennell Road and that property that would certainly help in terms of funding the cost for a new police station and township building. So there's still a lot of time on this. The ultimate goal would be to have something built and moved in by the fall of 2025, and here we sit in kind of the almost spring of 2023. So there's a lot of work that has to go into that beforehand, and from a construction standpoint, we're still a ways away from anything like that. To keep on that schedule, I mean, you have to start construction towards the end of 2024. So from a public standpoint and outreach, we're at a point with the architect and everyone else and putting information together. So what our goal is, and we don't have a specific date, we'll probably have that in the summertime, but we don't want to have a meeting in the summer with folks' vacation and things like that. So we'll identify a time probably in the fall, ideally a September, October time frame, to have an initial community meeting, have the architect come in and others present a little bit about what the initial plans are, take some feedback, and from the residents and anybody else gathered there to provide more information. So this is really just to update everybody on where we're at so far, and to make sure everybody knows that, there will be a chance and there will be more formal kind of public meetings about this as we go along, and a lot more to talk about. In the meantime, certainly, some folks that have paid attention to the meetings have asked all of us different questions. If people have those questions, feel free to ask any of the commissioners. Happy to answer myself, over the time, but more to come, and certainly something I think we're excited about as a board. I know the police department's excited to have a new permanent home, and something that will be a police station that's fitting of the department we have, and help them be certified by the state, which, by the way, is something the new Governor Shapiro, emphasized earlier this month. That's going to be something that is imperative for the municipal police departments to do all across Pennsylvania. So that covers that. Hopefully that's informative for folks that are here after the meeting. Happy to answer questions. And like I said, more to come. But that's it for me on committee reports. Thanks.
Thank you. Great job, Joe, with the report, and great job running the new building committee too. Thank you.
I have two things to report. One I should have signed out. The permits and licenses report, March 14, 2023. The following is a report for the permits and licenses issued for the month of February 2023. Beginning balance, $57,735. Total income from building permits and general contractors licenses, $11,963. Total electrical, $1,092. Total plumbing and heating, $2,992. Income from Board of Health licenses, $800. Income from peddlers and vendors permits, $300. Income from certificates of occupancy, $1,400. Income from rental licenses, $3,925. Income from street openings, $5,702. Total revenue collected, $28,174. Total for 2023 year-to-date, $85,909. And the same time last year, February 2022, it was $76,211. Next, I would like to read a statement relative to the Springbrook Trade Center issues. Tonight, I would like to give you the most current update on the noise and vibration problems being experienced by some of the residents living on Woodbrook Way, adjacent to Building 500 in the Springbrook Trade Center complex. Building 500 is the main redistribution facility for Thayer distribution and is the point of origin of the noise and vibration from trailer reefers and tractor idling. During the past month, the township engineers and their acoustical consultants have continued to take readings of the noise and vibration events that have originated at the Thayer distribution facility. Likewise, the property owner Trammell Crow Company, through their engineer and consultant, have been taking readings. It has been very helpful to correlate those readings with the time logs that are being produced by some of our residents. The consultants now have sufficient data and readings, and they've been documented. On Friday, March 3rd, there was a meeting with representatives of Trammell Crow, Aston Township, Township engineer, and acoustical consultant. At that meeting, the vibration readings were reviewed and various alternatives were discussed. However, the type of vibrations being experienced are extremely complex, requiring further discussion and evaluation on the part of the two consultants. Once these alternatives are vetted, they will be presented to the township engineer and then to you, the residents. The target for those involved is to have a solution agreed upon and approved sometime in early April, and then implemented. We all must understand that implementation will not happen overnight. Walls or other solutions may have to be fabricated and then constructed. This will take time, and we want to be upfront with the residents that this cannot be avoided if we are to bring this matter to a successful conclusion. We as commissioners certainly understand the concerns and the issues of the residents and we appreciate your patience and helpful input. We also understand your frustration. We know it feels like this is taking an excessive amount of time, but both the township and the developer want to make sure the solution is one that will mitigate the noise and the vibration issue. But as previously stated, all of us here in the township, our engineers and property owners, are very serious about finding a solution to the problem. We understand these quality of life problems. We care and we continue to work alongside those involved to do what it takes to find a lasting solution. Thank you. I'd like to now move on to item 6, review and approval of the treasurer's report.
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions from the board? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay. Ayes have it. Review and approval of the bills and payment report. I need a motion for that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays. Ayes have it. Item number 8 is open to the public. It's agenda items only, and any questions on the Springbrook Trade Center. It's a half an hour session, 3 minutes per person. And that's in keeping with the rules, which are not always followed. So, does anybody would like to come up for speak for agenda items or from Springbrook?
Yes, I'd like to say.
Come on up. Yes. If I'm answering, I might be long-winded, but that's for you. That's for you.
All right, well, I'm Ralph Hassel, 14 I understand and I really appreciate the effort that the township is trying to put forward and working with Trumbull Borough and trying to find a solution, and hopefully it will be a real solution that helps. I do want to say that this past weekend was really bad. We couldn't find a place in the house to escape the vibration, and when you walk outside, it was actually louder than typical. And I think that they were parking the trucks further down our way, which is really only 100 feet plus off of our house, and the refrigerated units were vibrating. And in fact, I remember one in particular that was so bad that it sounded like a really old unit that was just, I couldn't even describe it. And it does penetrate our house, and I'm doing everything I can financially and physically to try to help my family. I won't even get into it. I only have 3 minutes.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
The things we're trying to do to get away from the noise. I don't understand. I'm trying to sleep in 3 different places. Giving you 3 minutes to talk about it.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry.
I do also want to say that in your solution for addressing the vibration and noise problems, take into consideration the other side of the building too, the opposite side, which is even closer to homes on that side. If you look at the map, you'll see how tight it is. Morgan Road as well, their proximity to the building is like us. And it does travel further into the neighborhood, and you only hear from people who complain the most, I guess. You want to say something?
No, it's just our life is turned upside down. My daughter has to walk to the library after school every day because she can't come home to study. She can't come home. She has to wear these. I have to wear these at night to sleep at the time. And I don't feel like anybody's just trying to tell Claire to at least try to help us out with this sort of solution. I can't understand what we're going through. You say you do, but you don't. You don't get it. When I was up all night trying to complicate this decision, my daughter's dealing with it. She's very mature. She's going to the library to study. And then she has to deal with noise at the library, but she can't come home. She
She's walking from Sun Valley
Walking from Sun Valley to the library.
to the library with a 25-pound backpack with books and a laptop. And she does that so she can study because she can't come home. Because around the time that she's trying to study, which is 2:30 to the time we get home, that's like when they're doing their loading and the reefer units are running bad and there's no place for her to study. So she's walking to the library. And then when she finally gets to the library, she's dealing with noise problems in the library, ironically, like the librarian who talks very loud, and I had to say something. And today there was a Yahtzee game or something getting set up on the back table. And I asked the ladies, because I went to pick her up, I asked the ladies, is there a night that you come to set up and play your Yahtzee? Because it was very loud, them setting up, and then they were just all very chatty. And they said, yes, Wednesday. And I told them, well, that's apparently the night that my daughter can't come here to study. So, the library, which in my opinion, should be a quiet place, is verging on not.
You shouldn't even have to worry about this. You should get it from home, you should get it study. And I know your hands are tired, but, I mean, we went into there Monday morning, and the lady said she'd do her best.
Let me just say this, the fair redistribution is not breaking any of the ordinances,
I understand that.
okay? And I just, I figured you would know that. What they're doing is following the ordinance to the point where, all the testing that was done showed that they were less than the sound that's allowed to be transmitted to a residential area, okay? So this is really a process that has to be and will be handled by Trammell Crow. It's their property, they're the ones that have to handle the issue with the noise which is creating the vibration, and it's obviously coming over your house. And, I have confidence they will be able to handle
What
that.
do we do in the meantime? I mean, what do we do? I mean, can somebody give us a solution?
I don't know enough about vibrations and what to do about them to be able to answer your question. I don't know if anybody else here does either. But
It's just a
In
nightmare.
about 2-3 weeks, I have a fence guy coming. I'm putting up a 6-foot vinyl fence, and I hope that helps a little, at least for my first one. And it's going to cost me about $14,000, but that's my investment.
I want you to understand, we do hear you, but for us here sitting on the dais here, for us to correct the issues and the problems, it's impossible. It has to be the people that understand that, and they are working on it. And I can tell you, there's every member here on this board cares about what has happened. And even in writing my statement before we came to the meeting this week, a lot of time went into that so you would understand we do care. I don't want to sell you short. I don't want to make comments there that okay, I said what I need to say and that's it. A lot of thought went into this. And I had our attorney or solicitor look at it because we do want this to be right. So, I want you to understand that we do care. We do. If we didn't, we should be in the job.
Well, thank you for my 3 minutes, and I appreciate it.
I understand that, but there's been 3 months, and I know it's not fixed yet, but we've heard your comments, we understand your comments, and you could expand upon them. It's not going to change my feeling. It has to be fixed, and I understand that, by you citing your issues won't make it get fixed. I don't know how else to put that, but we do care.
I trust that.
Yeah, I mean that's it.
I just do. If it was just me and my husband, I think I could power through it, but I have your 15-year-old girl, and you're worried about her, and she says this is the most important time of her life, nobody else has to deal with this. She wants to live in any other house in Aston right now. But we can't move out because she doesn't want to change school districts. And my son graduated second in his class in Sunday, and she's way up at the top too. We don't want to move, and right now, I love Aston up until this point. It's just very frustrating for us.
I understand.
If we can just be quiet, we had 2 nights of quiet. appreciate it too. Sorry, I show my frustration.
Okay, no, I understand.
It's very hard.
I do understand. Thank you. Thank you. Do you have anybody else that would want to come up and speak? Nothing else, no other Springbrook comment? Oh. Are you coming up, Nick?
Yes.
Okay, come on. Agenda item?
Yes.
Okay, you got it. Hope I can answer it.
I just really come up here to ask these questions because I don't know the context of these agenda items.
Okay,
Like the first one, what's the improvements we need for the stormwater?
what was the storm line issue?
No, the stormwater, what needs improvement?
Item 9B.
Yeah, okay. Item 9B is the one that's, yeah.
I can answer.
Yeah, that's all answered. He's been, Bill has been directly involved in it, so let him answer the question.
So we have a property in Aston that has a problem with stormwater. The pipes have been crushed for a road, and we're repairing those pipes to make sure and ensure that there's no stormwater issues downhill or upstream. We're trying to repair them before it becomes a major problem.
And now, it's a private residence or
It's-
retail?
We have an easement on private residence. Pipes run underneath a lot of people's houses, yes.
Oh, township type thing.
Township. Correct.
All right. Number C, why exactly are we terminating the bailiff Dropbox license? Is that because it's an off-year election or?
The year of the election being an off year, general or primary, has nothing to do with it. Okay, the building is vacant up there.
Okay.
Okay, and there's been a lot of complaints about that, being there regardless. So a lot of residents, a lot of voters, I shouldn't say residents, a lot of voters don't trust it. You know, you're a bright guy, you've, seen you hear the news and so forth about, harvesting of ballots, alleged harvesting of ballots, and, I've had even a lot of seniors ask me, is it safe? But when you do, and these are for absentee type ballots, absentee, and the mail-in ballot, there's two types, absentee and mail-in, and, there's been a lot of issues, and when you send the ballot back in, because that's all you can put in there is the actual ballot, they already have, postage on them. Yeah, but the building is vacant. So while there's a video camera on it, there's no one there to monitor what's going on. No one's in the building. Remember, we moved out.
All right.
Solicitor would like to say something. Yeah, I think the bigger issue is one of liability, right? You have a vacant building, and a property that's not being, looked at on the regular, right? Because it's vacant, it's not being used. And now you're inviting the public to come to this vacant property. You know, the concern is if there's a crack in the sidewalk, if there, you know, some sort of pothole develops in the driveway, that sort of thing. We're not gonna be on top of it like we would be if we were in that building. So my recommendation to the board was that we shouldn't have that at that location for liability reasons.
All right. And my final one is agenda item 9D. As a DCNR employee myself, I was wondering what public funding program you were going through, since that's Park Works.
You said 9B?
D.
Oh, D, okay, I'm sorry.
Right, for the walkway and the site lighting at, walkway and site lighting at Weir Park.
Program you mean, because it's the DCNR.
So what, is it for public parks, but,
You would like to explain it?
what's the funding program?
Yeah, they're trying to put lights up. They have two walkways up there, Nick, and there's no, at night it gets real dark, you can't see.
Right,
So they're doing that, that's what they're looking at.
no, but I'm saying what fund of the DCNR?
You're asking which program, and Mr. D'Souza just said
He
that,
does.
so we can answer that.
We can back in, maybe he can answer that.
It's the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources.
Is that who that is?
That's who it is.
That's who it's for,
I
right?
think he's asking what funding program it is.
Yeah, I think Mike covered it. The simple one, if it's a straight question, we can have Joe Viscuso ask. You said you work for DCNR?
Yes.
All right, so you know they
I'm
have
with the Bureau of State Parks.
so they have a bunch of different grant funds.
Right,
So
but
I forget
that's the.
I forget the
grant
specific
fund we was going
name,
through here.
but Joe knows the specific title of the grant that it will come from.
All
So when
right.
he comes back in, he can answer that.
Mhm.
And there's still another public comment at the end, so if we don't answer it, you can come back down.
Sure. Okay, that'll be all.
Nick, we'll get you to come back up, okay?
Yeah.
Anybody else? No other lucky person? All right, we now move on to new business. Item A, consider a motion to approve the contract with Starfire Corporation for the July 4th fireworks display. Ms. Bowden.
I'd like to make a motion. Guess I need a microphone. Sorry about that. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with Starfire Corporation for an annual 4th of July fireworks in the amount of $18,000.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Make a motion?
Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Item 9B, consider a motion to award a bid for stormwater improvements to Moore Brothers of Boothland, PA. Commissioner Prendergast.
Yeah, I want to make a motion to award the bid for stormwater improvement to Moore Brothers of Boothland, PA, in the amount of $12,200 in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item 9C, consider a motion to direct the solicitor to provide notice of termination of the ballot drop box license agreement between the township and the Delaware County Bureau of Elections. Commissioner Berry.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. I make a motion to approve the Aston Township solicitor to provide notice of termination of the ballot box license agreement between the township and the Delaware County Bureau of Elections. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Nine D, consider a resolution to approve the grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, DCNR, for Ware Park walkway and site lighting. Commissioner Prendergast.
Commissioner Higgins, can I interject real quick? So Joe, while you were out, there was a question about what specific grant fund in DCNR this was going to, do you know?
Yeah, this program is just one that it's a spring program, and there's 4 different buckets that you can apply for. The three of them wouldn't be applicable to Aston at this particular time. We thought this one, for park restoration, was the best one. So it's just that their spring program is out there.
That answer your question, Mark?
You said it was the spring program?
Yeah, they usually come out a couple times a year, and this was their spring grant.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey, Nick?
Yes.
Good. All right, I'm going to read the resolution.
It's your turn, Greg.
Alrighty. Whereas Aston Township desires to undertake the project Rear Park Walkway and Site Lighting Project, and whereas the applicant desires to receive from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources a grant for the purpose of carrying out this project, and whereas the application package includes a document entitled Terms and Conditions of Grant, and whereas the applicant understands that the contents of the document entitled Terms and Conditions of Grant, including appendices referred to therein, will become the terms and conditions of the grant agreement between the applicant and the department the applicant is awarded the grant. Now therefore, it is resolved that the grant application may be electronically signed on behalf of the applicant by William DeVoe, with DeFeo, who at the time of the signing has a title township manager, an email address of wdefeo@astontownship.net. This official signed a grant application or electronic authorization prior to the passage of the resolution. The grant authority applies retroactively to the date of signing. If the applicant is awarded a grant, the grant application or electronic authorization signed by the above official will become the applicant grantee executed signature page for the grant agreement, and the applicant grantee will be bound by the grant agreement. Any amendment to this grant agreement may be signed on behalf of the grantee by the official who, at the time of signing of the amendment has the title specified in paragraph 1, and the grantee will be bound by the amendment. I hereby certify that this resolution was adopted by the Aston Township Board of Commissioners of this applicant the 15th day of March 2023. Michael Higgins, Vice President, Aston Township Board of Commissioners.
Need a second?
In the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Item 9E. Consider a motion to approve tax refunds that were an overpayment due to a tax billing error. Mr. Docker is going to give a lot of money back.
I make a motion to approve the refund request of 117 residents that overpaid on their 2022 taxes due to a tax bill error totaling $35,544.50 in the form of motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Okay, my favorite things coming up now, escrow releases, and Commissioner Perry is going to handle that.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Resolution 2023-25. Whereas ordinance number 240 and ordinance number 360 provide for escrow refunds or escrow funds for completion of improvements. And whereas the township engineer and the new construction committee has approved the request for escrow funds released to E.F. Dennis Cronin, 104 Poplar Avenue, fire escrow, folio number 01940-00, sub-account 776-612-9893. Now therefore be resolved that Aston Township execute such action as required by the Township Secretary and the President of the Board of Commissioners to release the sum of $31,408.90 payable to Dennis Cronin, 104 Poplar Avenue, Aston, PA 19014, duly adopted this 15th day of March 2023, Township of Aston, by Michael J. Higgins, Vice President, Board of Commissioners, attested to by Kelly A. Pittman, Township Secretary, and that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it.
The following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Pannoni Associates for the month of March. Total $13,685. The following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Cirilli Associates Incorporated for the month of March, $3,270. $67. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Both of those were summary amounts that Mr. Berry read, and both of them are in the form of a motion. So, any comments or questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, we now have question and answer period, the second one. Anybody would like to come up and speak on any topic at all? Please, you're welcome to come up. Seeing none? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move over to, let's go the opposite direction tonight. Commissioner Within?
All right, you put me on the spot here, Mike. I gotta be ready. Usually I got some time.
I'm ready.
It's all right. Just two things. Obviously, congratulations to Carol. I know she left, but on her years of service, I know my uncle Jim in his years as commissioner worked closely with Carol, and I know that was a two-way street. So congratulations to Carol. One of the things I just want to touch on, not on the agenda, but something that's impacted residents over in the second ward, a little bit in the first ward, but certainly had complaints regarding noise related to the new septic service, the Wawa line. It actually doesn't go through Aston, but goes on Lenai Road. And some residents had complained about that. It's something to work closely with the residents on. I know Mr. DeFeo, our township managers, worked with the other nearby municipalities, or Chester Heights, as well as Middletown Township. And one of the items I'm happy to report is that obviously there's train service there, and there's noise associated with the trains, but there's also an added service yard there by SEPTA, and through kind of efforts working with SEPTA, pushing on SEPTA, they've agreed that they will not be testing any horns at that service yard moving forward. So that will eliminate a significant amount of noise there. Certainly appreciate SEPTA for taking that significant step and rearranging their maintenance of their trains to accommodate that. And hopefully that's a big step forward to alleviating some of that noise for the residents over there. So I just wanted to make that update for folks that have been paying attention to that issue.
Thank you, Joe. Ms. Bowden?
Yes. Of course I have something to say. I just wanted to thank our Public Works Department. With the high winds that we went through in the community today and yesterday and last evening, many people put their trash cans out. There was trash all over our township, especially from the recycling, because nothing in those cans are wrapped and it's not in bags. And our Public Works crew and our township trash guys worked diligently today for hours picking up trash, because many people put their trash cans out. I know I sent a message out on social media asking people not to put your trash cans out, to save it for next week, especially your recycling, but many people didn't do it. And we just have this great group of gentlemen that work for us that spent their day picking up the trash that everybody let blow all over our town, and it looked like, and I'm going to use the word crap out there, and it really was disgusting. So thank you to them, and I think all of you should, when you see them, personally say thank you to them. The last thing I have is, I don't have a bit of Irish with me, but I'm going to tell you all how happy St. Patty's Day, because everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day. Oh, crossing guards. I'm still begging for all of you to volunteer to come cross. I stand at the corner of Gut Mill and Concord, which is the busiest corner, as you can tell by traffic, and I have had to work it for the past week, as many of the other guards have by myself, because we don't have any subs.
What's the vacancy?
$16 an hour, so, and you get to work with me, I mean, what else would it, it's
Do
great.
you get double if we have to work by ourselves?
Yeah.
Let's find that one.
It's just, I just really need, if you know anybody to work, I mean, we cross hundreds of kids a day to get into school, mostly our middle school kids and our high school kids. There's no elementary on this side of the township, but on the other, you have little kids going to first grade and through fifth grade, walking up Weir Road, crossing streets, and we need crossing guards to get them across the streets safely, because the traffic in this town is horrendous. So please, if you know of anybody, have them stop at the police station, pick up an application, get their background checks done, and get paid $16 an hour, and they can pay their taxes before. Have a great St. Patty's Day.
Thank you, Commissioner Berry.
Thank you, Mike. I'd like to congratulate Carol Thompson on her 40 years of service. I hope we can make it without her. And I also like to welcome our new solicitor, Mike. Thank you.
Mr. Pendergast.
All right, thank you, Mike. Just again, I want to congratulate Carol Thompson on her retirement. And again, like Nancy said, I want to thank Public Works and our chair for doing the work that they do. They do a heck of a job. Again, happy St. Patty's Day. Again, Mike, welcome.
And Mr. Doherty.
Yeah, same thing. I want to thank Carol Thompson for 40 years of service, and I wish you the best in her retirement. And everyone, happy St. Patty's Day. Please don't drink too much, don't drink and drive, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Pippin?
You don't have anything? Oh my goodness.
Commissioner Slater?
Happy St. Patty's Day, and Kelly Pippin makes the best Irish potatoes in the world.
Okay, thank you. I saw her post on Facebook and I just put one comment, mine, and I got a bag of fives the next day. Okay, Mr. D'Souza?
Also, best wishes to Carol. I've worked with her a long time here in the township. Also, good to see Mr. Deere here tonight.
Yeah.
Welcome, Dick.
Say goodbye, Dick. Mr. Madden?
I'd just like to thank the board for the confidence they showed in appointing me solicitor and say that I'm really looking forward to working for you in the coming years.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Counselor.
Excuse me, maybe we'll give him our condolences?
He just doesn't know yet.
So welcome, Counselor. Congrats to Carol Thompson on 40 years. Spent a lot of time dealing with her on land development, quite a lot. And with Mr. Lear when he was the township manager. And Aaron Gova. So we need a motion to end the meeting. Okay, that's it. Thank you.